Hi guys. I wanted to do a get to know me tag where I've basically just gone through 200 questions and picked the most interesting ones. Number 1, what shows are you into? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really into watching too much TV, but the last few series that I've watched, I'm currently watching Power. I'm only just starting now, so no spoilers. I think the last proper series that I watched was Sons of Anarchy or The Good Doctor or something along those lines. Are you usually early or late? I feel like I'm either early, as in half an hour early so I have time to have a coffee first, or I'm like half an hour late. So I try to be early just because I prefer to start my day better. What quirks do you have? I don't know. I think I'm quite quirky in general. I think I'm just a bit weird. I wouldn't know what to say specifically. I might have to ask around for this one. What is your favorite drink? Coca-Cola Zero. And I'm one of those people who used to vouch for the original Coke taste and for saying that nothing else tastes like Coke that you can buy in the shop from a can. But I started drinking Coke Zero because there was no Coke. And honestly, I couldn't believe myself that I was saying this, but it's actually so much nicer than original Coke. I drink so much Coke Zero, way more than I should, and it's a problem, and I need help. What songs have you completely memorized? I feel like anytime when I hear something that's catchy, it just gets stuck in my head anyway, but one of my favorites that I still to this day just get so gassed every time I do it is Eminem's Mariah Carey diss, The Warning Shot. And I feel like that is just bars, and I get so into it, and I can literally from start to end, word for word, maybe if I hit 100,000 subscribers, then I would put that up on the internet. But it's pretty fucking epic. What are you absolutely determined to do? Speaks for itself. I'm absolutely determined to grow and to be happy and to achieve everything that I want and desire. What movie title best describes your life? The Pursuit of Happiness. What do you wish you knew more about? I wish I knew more about myself. And I just feel like there's never anything that you can't learn about yourself. Like, I learn new things about myself every single day, and I'm just like, if only I'd known that sooner. And it just helps me to grow every single day. And I just kind of wish I could know everything, but obviously the journey is the fun part. How different was your life 1 year ago? Ooh, that's a good question. My life was very different 1 year ago. I definitely would not have thought 1 year ago that I would be where I'm at right now. I feel like I have grown so much and I have made such massive improvements, and I'm on the way to even bigger improvements, and there's just, the future is just so much brighter, and I just feel like I can do anything. A year ago I definitely didn't feel like that. A year ago I was a little bit lost. It's kind of the thing that drives me, is that I know how much can change in a year, and I know in a year from now, looking back at this time, I'll be so grateful for this. What are some things you've had to unlearn? I feel like I've had to forget all about my care for what people think of me. Generally speaking, throughout my life, I think I have always worried about that, and I feel like I've always adapted my personality based on who I've been around, and that was never conscious. That was just something I always did, and I thought that's just who I am, but I was wrong. And it took some self-discovery to understand who I really was, but unlearning the things that I'd taught myself and that I'd conditioned myself to believe, like how not to respond to fear and how to have control over my emotions so that they don't take over my mind, and how to have a healthy and positive mindset, and how to take the appropriate action towards what I want to achieve. And I've had to teach myself from the very beginning and unlearn so many negative traits, and I'm still in the process. There are still things that I'm faced with from time to time that unmasks something else that I need to work on, but for me it's become a pleasurable experience now. What TV show or movie do you refuse to watch? I already know the answer to this one, and I'm probably going to be killed for it, but Game of Thrones. I have tried to watch it. I've watched the first 4 episodes, and I'm a pretty fair person, and there are things that I haven't been interested in before that I've watched and gotten really into, but I just don't get it. I mean, it was a good storyline for the first few episodes, but I just don't understand why the world is so obsessed with Game of Thrones. What job do you think you'd be really good at? I feel like I'd make a banging radio presenter. I don't know why. I just feel like I would love it. But if we're talking more jobs, I'd love to be a midwife. I feel like I'd be a really good midwife. I feel like I'd just support women so well and just make them feel so strong, and it's such a beautiful job to do anyway, and like, who doesn't want to be a part of life coming into the world every single day? So it's just that's a pretty amazing job. I always thought I'd be. Or an airport manager. I did want to be an airport manager. I used to look up the ladder to get into the top of that industry. Just because it's so communication based and having to communicate with people from all walks of life. So that really excited me. Why did you decide to do the work that you are doing now? I actually decided to do this because my friend and I were having a conversation on the phone, and I've always been that friend in my social circle who, whenever somebody has a problem, I'm always just egging them on to achieve their goals and to be a better human being and to make the right choice, and to give them all of this advice that they sometimes take and sometimes they don't, more times they don't. But I was always that person anyway, and I love to just reach in and touch somebody's soul and pull it out and just shake them up and wake them up into existence. I've just always been that person. And this particular day, a couple of weeks ago, I was having a conversation with my friend, and she was going through something and she was asking me for my advice, and I literally just went in on one, and I found myself wondering where it comes from within myself. I don't know sometimes how I know the things that I do, but when I get into the moment, it just pours and pours and pours out of me, and it comes from somewhere much deeper than myself and my consciousness. And when I was finished, she said to me, she's like, dude, I can't believe I'm the only person that's ever gonna get to hear that. She's like, I wish I could just take everything you said and send it to him. And I was like, you know what, maybe I could do videos. Like, she overcame something massive in that moment, and she really made a different decision which completely shifted her point of attraction, and that was the best feeling in the world. And that's when I realized, and I put 2 and 2 together, that is the feeling I want to give people forever. And I don't quite know where this journey is going to go, and I don't quite see the whole way yet, but I'm really enjoying following the pull and just doing it anyway. What hobby would you get into if time and money weren't an issue? Writing. But that's a whole different story for a whole different day. What is something that a ton of people are obsessed with, but you just don't get the point of? Game of Thrones. Who inspires you to be better? My daughter. I know it's a cheesy one, but for the very short 4 years that she's been about, she has made me look in the mirror harder than anything else I've ever done in my life. And I'm so grateful for it. What's the best thing about you? I feel like one of my favorite traits about myself is that I am constantly self-reflecting. I'm always standing in front of my own mirror, so I don't need to be told a lot of the time how I'm behaving, because I'm constantly looking and analyzing my own behavior. And I feel like if in a partnership or in any type of relationship, whether it's friendships or employment or romantic, if you are both looking at yourselves and self-reflecting and trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be, then you can't go wrong. You don't need to worry about what the other person is doing, because you're both operating from a really high level and you're both offering each other the best parts of yourself, and that's how you grow together. What are you addicted to? Coke Zero. What irrational fear do you have? Fucking moths. I just don't know what happens to me when a moth comes into the house. Anyone who knows me and has seen me react to a moth knows that I am pathetic and completely have no control of myself the second that a moth whooshes past me. What is the best compliment you've ever received? I don't know how to answer that, but I would say that when it comes to compliments, I love compliments to do with who I am rather than what I look like. You haven't done anything to deserve that. You haven't done anything to earn that. You haven't done any, you've just been born and that's your role. What do people think is weird about you? Probably a lot, but I don't care. You'll get lost in the middle being too normal. What do you spend the most time thinking about? My future. What were some of the turning points in your life? I feel like there have been times where I've hit rock bottom, and instead of letting it consume me and take me over, I found a way to come out of it. And those were definitely turning points for me. I don't want to get into the specifics of what the events were, but things that most people would be justified to give up over. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because they were my turning points. What bends your mind every time you think about it? Just how powerful we are as people and how much control we have over our own lives. What's the title of the current chapter of your life? The Climb. What are some of your personal rules that you never break? Boundaries. I feel like it's critical to have boundaries and to respect them. And if you don't respect them, nobody else will. To start every day with a positive intention and to just spend a couple of minutes thinking about the things that I'm grateful for. Because when you start your day right, you have a much better day. Believe me. What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received? Being told that I am limited and that I should give up on my dreams and just face reality. Worst piece of advice I've ever been given in my life. What do you regret not doing or starting when you were younger? This. So thank you for watching my video. I hope it's been a little bit insightful. I just thought I wanted to do something fun. I'm really excited for my next video. It's going to be out on Tuesday. So please come back and watch it.